Today, Andy.
Well, the gut instinct is telling me we're in for the best grand final of the lot, and we've seen some pretty good ones. I think the way both teams are approaching this game, that both teams have conducted themselves this season.
Here's La Rocca trying to create an early chance, but that's beyond Mark Bridge. Bit of a surprise.
Yeah. Great theatre, and what a setting here at Suncorp.
The supporters have certainly risen to the challenge of full-time professional football. Two sets of passionate fans, the Den at one end and the RBB at the other, each hoping that their team will lift the coveted trophy.
It's gone towards top or Stanley, and a massive gap in behind for someone to fill with the side of their boot if they're in red and black.
Will replace him.
In the meantime, provides a special test for Matt Smith and Jade North. You work in between them off the shoulder of each. The science behind his off-the-ball running.
He's winning the aerial duel with Bratton, but it drops for Mackay, and then Ace was quickly shut down by the Royal midfield, and now here's their talisman Broich for Bratton. His long-range strike won the premiership for Brisbane on this ground some weeks ago against this move. That's clever from Bratton. Down the line for Mackay. Brisbane perhaps just started to find their feet, started to settle Berisha. Brisbane a bit deep. Miller challenged successfully by La Rocca. Wanderers, actually right, you seem to glance off the arm of Ivan Franic, but Peter Green said no penalty. Not intentional. But Bratton's done well to retrieve it. This is Franic.
There he is again.
Well, he's known as the Rock by the Wanderers supporters. He'll need to beat it ball. Franic had to readjust to try and take it first time, which allowed Wanderers to spoil it again.
Bossing this game around.
Here's Mackay. Spoons up in the air off La Rocca.
Of course, you know, the win last year, that was the season for the Mariners, brilliantly so, but the team that has by and large been so dominant is the Roar, and that's what has been underpinning their success, that high field pressure.
For two in Brazil and beyond. Socceroos coach, I can tell he is here today, watching the action. Gets it back off Franic. Miller. Kai telegraphed that one, and there's La Rocca again. Mackay. Broich with a layoff. Stefanuto with time. Not a good cross. And Brisbane just by instalment. Faced by Hersey. Prod into the path of Stefanuto. A little bit more room for Brisbane. Here's Mathieu Poliak to continue. Rocca on the ball. Here's Ono, who's exactly the same age. La Rocca. Straight at Miller. It's been a bit deep. There's not too many options for the Irishman. Will thread it through the legs of his compatriot Pollens. Minutes played, goal scoring chances really at a premium. Here's Mathieu Poliak. Very tight, barely a cigarette paper between the two teams in terms of chances created. Here's Bratton trying to change.
He scored here in his final international match.
He did, against Paraguay. 2006. That's a good ball to find Bridge, who was deceived by the bounce initially. Puto galloping forward to give him an option. It's gone square instead, and it's a really good choice for La Rocca. Here's a chance for Santalab. Not a great first touch across the... That's it, high up into the afternoon skies. Bratton beaten in the air by Polyak.
Hasn't that been...
Which has just 30 seconds left to run. Just the 1 minute of stoppage time to be played. Theo to clear upfield. A little push by Berisha on La Rocca. Tony Popovic will be pretty satisfied with his team's display. And there we go. Make that 7 out of 9. Santalab, who scooted away initially, and then that's equally careless by the Western Sydney Wanderer. Is onside here despite the appeals. Ono to try and ferry it across, and eventually it's anywhere will do for Matt Mackay. Back into the penalty area at Brisbane Roar. Their winning percentage against Western Sydney in the 2 years that goal. It's beyond Bratton. This hasn't really got to the pace of the game at all, Demi Petratos.
No, they've been a little bit short. Moment. We really need to cut loose the Brisbane Roar.
Bratton trying to do just that, but Miller's had his pocket picked, and
the game is just so classically poised.
Came off Stefanuto. It's up in only 6 months in 2012. They've been competitive almost from the word go. Was there a foul there on Santalab?
Don't let them suck you into a place where they want you and we don't want to be. Let's open the field up, get players into the space, into the gaps, and move the ball quickly.
Gets some serve. Goes route one looking for Santalab, who was straining every sinew to try and rein that ball in, and now Mackay's been robbed by the excellent La Rocca. Here's Hersey, brought down on the edge. Roach, close track of the ball. La Rocca puts it into the channel for Hersey to run onto. They'll try and somehow wriggle themselves out of this straitjacket. Western Sydney have wrapped them up in virtually from the first whistle. This man's been excellent, IACOPO La Rocca. It's a good challenge though by Smith. Mackay. North out for Fredich. Now Mackay in a bit of space. Tillen ball looking for Fredich, didn't quite run onto him, and was that man La Rocca there again? Stefanuto returns it with interest, helped on by Mackay.
Really, reward for Popovic's men.
Petratos. Bratton needs to shift it on quickly. Didn't see Hersey coming. Here's Berisha. He may still have something to say about that. Bessart Berisha driving forward. Really good tackle by Toppler Stanley, who's gone to ground and is clearly hurt. It's Fredich. Queenslanders in the stands sensing blood perhaps. Polyak's there. There was a hefty challenge, but no foul on Miller.
Been great ever since.
Broad through the set piece. Berisha free. Oh, he should have done better there. Bessart Berisha. Header with no...
He wasn't going to be able to continue. He was arguing the point with his coach, but the doctor ordered him off, and he takes no further part in the game.
And that will be a huge blow with that Asian because of his hand.
Well, Mike Mulvey was, by his own account, very relaxed.
Good ball, whipped across by Stefanuto.
coming into this game, and he spent the entirety of the Fitters by surprise by going direct to the byline. So often he turns out and finds a different angle, and he attacked the byline, cut the ball back to Enrique, who was off balance, leaning back.
Squares it up, Lustica. Brisbane threatening, here's Bratton who can hit them. Rebounds off La Rocca. Bratton looking for the ever-willing run of Franic, who's headed off of the pass by La Rocca, who has just been magnificent.
Well, he has been, and come again.
Credit to Matt Smith, who did enough. Now here's Mackay, it's just beyond Lustica.
Because of that injury to Topor Stanley, and now they're hanging on, the Wanderers.
Jake North stooping to put the ball back into Wanderers territory. Popovic's face doesn't betray any real concern, but internally I'm sure he'll be feeling just how close they were to the A-League Championship trophy. They still might win it, of course. Pollens through the legs of Broich, but only Matt Smith there. Returned with interest by La Rocca. Broich, Spranovic holds him up. Here's Lustica. Franic to shoot. Well, he was entitled to have a go. Surely he should have fed in Labinot Haliti there, who was as free as a bird.
Yeah, well, they make those decisions in a split second.
Here's Enrique, end-to-end stop at the moment. He did in the previous 90 minutes. Go figure. Maybe Brisbane in on goal here. Held up well though by La Rocca, who's just been terrific. Living up to his nickname of the Rock today for sure. It was an injury and force change for Mike Mulvey. Here's Broich, whips it in low. Collins puts it out of touchline. Under 5 minutes remaining of the first half of extra time. Cross comes shot, out it comes for Polyak. Away by Mackay. Been a heck of an arm wrestle. La Rocca. Probably going to be too deep for Tommy Jonaki. 1 minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half of extra time, and Donake's made good progress. And who should be there again? Yep, it's that man, IACOPO. I wonder how late that last flight is back to Sydney for Western Sydney Wanderers. The police escort's going to be on overtime for Tony Popovic. Brisbane trying to draw the Wanderers out. Franic. And was that a cross or a shot? Whatever, it was deflected behind off La Rocca this time. Stefanuto. It's towards Enrique, who's not the tallest. He's managed to flick it on towards Donachie. Here's Enrique, chance! Enrique! He's done it again! The substitute has scored in the ground. 5 goals in 10 finals appearances now for him.
Big game player. Has had to be an impact player so far this season. And what an impact. And here come Brisbane again.
And they're tired, the Wanderers. La Rocca. Excellent, that's one error aside.
And he's pretty much just paying rent in the centre circle at the moment, Jade North. So James Donachie is partnering Matt Smith in the centre of the Raw defence.
Trying to turn clear of Mackay. Peter Green has the whistle in his mouth. It's forward desperately by La Rocca. The challenge